Right, it's no secret that Disney might be destroying Star Wars. Might. Just possibly. Star Wars The Last Jedi didn't fail because of any bad writing or plot holes or plot contrivances, destroying already established lore, adding in things that actually ruin the consistency of the older films. No, none of that stuff. It was just angry man babies, as Rian Johnson said, hating on the film because a woman main is there, and the patriarchy and mansplaining and men taking over. Ah, where's my safe space? And Solo didn't fail because of any controversy behind the scenes. No, that was just people not liking a strong character in the form of Kira. I mean, come on, we even threw him a bone and gave him Darth Maul. We made Han Solo more likeable, and the criticism about Lando dating L3, and the pansexual stuff. Oh no, they're just bigots, a lot of them. They don't like relationships, and black men, they're all racist. Oh, they keep complaining about their old characters being harmed, but they're just scared of strong, independent female character Rey, who has no background, no development, no character to her. They just don't like her because they're misogynist, sexist, pig man babies. But, oh wait, we still need to leech off of the original trilogy characters like Luke, Princess Leia, Han Solo, Darth Vader, Emperor Palpatine. We still need to use those characters because we need those fans, the same fans that we are insulting. We still need to give fuel to Star Wars The Clone Wars to win over the core audience that left because that was cancelled. We need to bring that back, bring back Ahsoka, Good Anakin and Obi-Wan Kenobi, Plo Koon and all the other stories. Captain Rex, we still need those characters from the old Star Wars that we're trying to snuff out, while simultaneously saying that Admiral Ackbar was just a side character who was just there for meme value, but forgetting that that same show we're bringing back featured him in the Mon Cala arc. Hell, they even made the guy who played Admiral Ackbar cry when they said, "It's a wrap, oh, he's just a baby, he's a man baby, he's not important, blah." And also, who can forget that despite cancelling the Expanded Universe, we're going to bring back Expanded Universe characters and leech off of Admiral Thrawn, because we know that it will get more people watching the show, because we know that Star Wars Rebels Season 1 flopped heavily in comparison to Clone Wars and the later seasons where we had Thrawn, where we had Vader. Hell, look at the success of Star Wars Resistance, a series that has been cancelled after 2 seasons. A show that features the sequel trilogy over all the other trilogy and their characters, because who really cares about the original or even the prequel trilogy? Who cares about them? We want Captain Phasma. We want cameos from Poe. We want Hux, Kylo Ren, and we want more Snoke, even though we don't know anything about him and he got chopped in half in the second film. But hey, we don't want Luke, we don't want Anakin, we don't want Kenobi, we don't want Han Solo, we don't want Chewbacca, no. We want characters we don't give a fuck about, and shitty animations, lower quality than Star Wars The Clone Wars and Star Wars Rebels, because that's what the kids want. Yay! Disney's for the people, not the corporations that's leeching off of this franchise and making millions at the detriment of our sanity and our love for this amazing franchise, right? Feminist writing school, woo! Cool, they really fucked it up, didn't they? You see the hypocrisy, the ignorance, the irony. They want to insult you while simultaneously taking your money when the product is shit.
Remember, kids, it's not important if it's of high quality, only if it makes money.
I've been a Star Wars fan pretty much my entire life, and don't get me wrong, it was a bit sad to see my baby crash and die, but I mean, we got some funny memes out of it, didn't we? But yeah, a lot of talk has been going around that potentially George Lucas has royalties in Star Wars' original characters, hence why they've been trying to snuff him out of existence for the past couple of years. And although it is unlikely because he has stocks in it and he did sell it for a couple $2 billion, it does raise a few eyebrows as to why Disney would try so hard to diminish the importance of the original cast and characters. They had an opportunity to play upon the nostalgia of the core audience, and instead they decided to pander towards social justice politics. And look what happened. There seems to be this mentality in Hollywood that politics is more important than morals, and it's a shame because it really stifles creativity, it stifles innovation, and it promotes the idea that you don't need good writing, good skills, etc., and meritocracy to create good movies and good shows and good stories in general. And what happens is you have this current epidemic of bad films and bad shows and bad video games for that matter, because they're prioritizing the gloss and not focusing on the content of the cake. There's no point having all this icing on your cake if the chocolate is bitter. And that is the root of Lucasfilm's problems. In this article you can see that there's so many new villains that are being introduced and we still know nothing about them, barring Palpatine. They simply don't believe, like the majority of Hollywood, they don't believe that good storytelling is a lucrative way of making money for their products. Even the gaming industry is following this trend. This is why they are focusing so much on microtransactions instead of making actually good quality games, unless you're Cyberpunk 2077's creator, CD Projekt Red. Simply put, they believe if they have the right title, they have the right characters, the cast behind them, the crew, director, writer, the right names to make everything known and to market it well with as much money as possible, which Disney does have, by the way, that will be all they need to make a blockbuster hit. And they've learned something dire, that it is simply not enough. Just look at all the criticism channels that have come out of YouTube. Look at Mauler, look at The Critical Drinker, That Star Wars Girl, Young Ripper, Nerdrotic, The Quartering, Worth a Buy, Preston Jacobs, Red Team Review, Tyrone Magnus, Rags, It's a Gundam, Geeks and Gamers. Look at all the big major channels that have exploded out of nowhere over the past couple of years because of Star Wars The Last Jedi or Game of Thrones. Because of bad writing, bad storytelling, bad quality products from so many franchises being stuffed down our throats, and then the makers of those video games, those films, those TV shows start insulting us when we criticize their bad quality products that we spent our own hard-earned money on. The cheek, the audacity, the arrogance, the entitlement that people like Rian Johnson have had over the years. For assuming that we owe them our gratitude for spending our money on a subpar product that we've spent our own money on. Fuck Rian Johnson. Fuck any company or person that makes a shitty product and then gets pissy at us for not liking their shitty product after we've spent our own bloody money on it and dislike it. Fuck them all. They aren't principled. Simply put, Lucasfilm is not principled, which is why they are fine with pumping out shitty products like they did. And because of that, they have garnered a very bad reputation for themselves. Just like the Game of Thrones creators Dan and Dave, right? And you know what the worst thing is? I don't think they've learned from their past mistakes. I really don't. That's why Phase 4 of the Marvel Cinematic Universe is going full on SJW. They don't care if it retcons previously established characters, the lore, anything, as long as it makes money. That is all they care about. And they will make money because there will always be ultra-political types or pseudo-political types who think they know what they are saying, who think they are the arbiters of the truth, who will see what Disney is doing and will go, yay, my ideas have been represented, and will spend their money on it to support it, and will snuff anyone out on Twitter who disagrees with them. That is all they have, and they know it. And not even your god J.J. Abrams can save this train wreck that is coming. That is why they're bringing back Palpatine, because this is their last opportunity to save Star Wars. And I mean Disney's Star Wars, not actual Star Wars. And J.J. Abrams is seen as the god of all gods who can save this broken franchise from destruction. And they seem to forget that the person who's probably the best for the job is sitting right in front of them. Kathleen Kennedy can't see him. In fact, she's probably intimidated by him, which is why he has nothing to do with the movies. Yes, I am talking about the apprentice to George Lucas himself, Dave Filoni. The man behind the Clone Wars, the show that they cancelled and brought back just to get the fans' goodwill on their side. Or hell, even Jon Favreau. In fact, I'd wager that Star Wars The Clone Wars Season 7 and The Mandalorian are going to be the only things that save the Star Wars franchise after Episode 9 flops miserably. And even these legends might not be enough to save them. Perhaps if the two of them were co-leading Lucasfilm, we would then have actual Star Wars being made by actual Star Wars fans who understand Star Wars, unlike Kathleen Kennedy, who is full on corporate and doesn't even know anything about the characters, anything about the original story, or the expanded story in regards to the prequels and the Clone Wars and Rebels. And then when she finally retires in 2021, she will get Michelle Waydrawn to take over, assuming that she understands me better than her. And then we will have another few more years where the Force is female. Woo! Feminist writing school! Because in 2019, we are attaching identities to inanimate concepts I don't even understand. Because my name is Kathleen Kennedy. Ha! Like, I bet if you asked those two who Plo Koon is, they wouldn't be able to answer. I bet if you asked them who was the Jedi that found Ahsoka Tano, they wouldn't be able to answer. Who hired Jango Fett to be the clone template? Who Sifo Dyas is? What is the Pike Syndicate? What is Sarisu or Makashi? What the Wills are? Who the father, son and daughter are? And the latter's connection to Ahsoka Tano? Who is Sarge Ventress and how she came to be under Dooku's power and why she ended up leaving her service? I bet she wouldn't even know how Darth Maul came to be, who Darth Maul's parents are, who Mother Talzin is, Darth Bane, Darth Revan, Darth Plagueis, Quinlan Vos, all of that. I bet they don't even know. And I'll go as far to say, I bet J.J. Abrams doesn't even know either. So why do I think Star Wars, The Rise of Skywalker will fail? They are bringing back old characters from the past who they don't even understand, who they previously tried to push out of this new trilogy to force their own stuff in so that they can use Star Wars as their own marketing tool and nothing to do with Lucas. And then they are going to force them into this movie to try and add nostalgia to it with no substance whatsoever. Bring back the Knights of Ren despite Rian Johnson completely forgetting about them. Fill it with X-Wings and Force Lightning, and I bet Snoke will come back from the dead and Vader will come back. Rey will become the most powerful Jedi ever, even dwarfing Master Yoda's power. And then the last scene will be Force Ghost of all the other major characters, embracing her, surrounding her in a circle, holding hands. And I bet even Han Solo will be there despite not learning how to become a Force Ghost from Qui-Gon Jinn. And Rey and Kylo will embrace each other and will kiss in the last scene, and all the Reylos will be happy. And in the end, it still won't be enough. It will just be a meme. It will be another Game of Thrones Season 8. But this time, it will be the biggest media franchise ever. And nothing can save it. And then after, the same writers from Game of Thrones are going to be writing their own trilogy. Ha ha ha. That will revive it, won't it? Ha ha ha. And maybe the rumours about Rian Johnson's ones being cancelled won't happen either, and he'll get his. Ha ha ha! Ah ha ha! Ha ha ha. There is no goodwill left in Hollywood, especially in Disney. My hopes are not up for this film. They could actually do a good job, but because of The Last Jedi, because of the backlash, because of how Rian Johnson and some of the other people treated the fans that paid with their own money for tickets, for toys, for, well, not toys, and other forms of Star Wars entertainment, all that bad will, do you really think Disney will be able to repair that? Lucasfilm will be able to repair that? Even Dave Filoni and Jon Favreau might not be able to save it. And then what? I guess we have to wait for a new series to come out, or a new massive franchise to come out. And sure, it may not have the nostalgia and the epicness of Star Wars, but it'll be a start in the right direction, and it'll give Disney a kick up the arse that money doesn't buy everything. Imagine spending $4 billion just for a name, and still fucking it up. For you fellow independents out there, remember, politics is not the same as moral integrity. And if you fuck up the moral integrity of your work, you will lose the core fan base. And let's be honest, you won't have the money, you won't have the marketing tools, you won't have the manipulation tactics that Disney have. If you do what they do, you will fail. It happened with Game of Thrones. It will happen even with Star Wars, not to the extent, because they're Star Wars and they're owned by Disney. But it will never be the same. Don't follow in their footsteps. Focus on creativity. Hone your writing talents. Understand characters, plot, development, progression. And your story will excel and capture the hearts of thousands, maybe millions, or even billions like Star Wars once did. See you in the next one, lads and ladettes. Cheers.